Redneck on YouTube can tell you exactly what he should be doing for Main Street Americas. We're going to be talking about that. Also, we're going to talk about these scientists again. Guess what? 12. Now, we're up to 12 scientists that are now gone, deceased, or not with us anymore. You know what's even crazier? This is happening in China, too. What is going on? Something very strange is going on. We're going to discuss that also in the next few minutes.
Yeah, so much as we mentioned, people keep asking, what's happening? What's happening? We've explained it multiple times, and it's amazing. We have child pedo producers here, too, and how it's being ignored for how many years now? Right, so we've explained, and as you've seen throughout these cycles, there's, I guess, pinnacle moments, there's reviews, certain investigations, time frames. Yeah, because I can remember the stuff they signed off in 2010. Yeah, and then in 2020 they got a 5-year extension, right? Something like that. Need a second opinion. I know, it's like, how many second opinions do you need? Really? They'll just keep shuffling through people till they can find the most evil, horrible, maniacal, stupid people that are willing to be that dumb. But where you have so many people calling them out, it makes it difficult. Oh, I know, right? Oh, man. Hopefully, we're just trying to get other people to call him out, because the ones who are calling him out, as you can see, around the world get casted off as conspiracy theorists, or they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, like a lot of the doctors exposing the issues and concerns and dangers with vaccines over the years that were ignored and laughed at and now listened to. Just like the concerns with SSRIs and all those things that were ignored and laughed at and now taken seriously. And when you see how that's connected to these activist groups and punks, and how some of them are actually some of the child and animal pedo abuse producers, I know, it keeps the wheels spinning, doesn't it? So we're concerned about the children, and a lot of these people seem more concerned about their drugs and dogs. Right, well, that would be like a lot of the audiences within like the Joe Rogan and Roseanne and all those kind of lines, Alex Jones, these people, they like their psychedelics and drugs. They seem to not realize how it gets from point A to point B, and that all these idiots in the middle that they have to protect themselves from, and that we have to protect ourselves from. Well, they pay big money, to get their drugs and do their training. They got to train the dogs for the disabled people, and they got to train the goons to get in the ring and fight. I mean, come on now, it's business, baby, business. You got to make money so you can protect yourself from all these fucking over-medicated psychotic idiots, man. They're everywhere. Right. So yeah, we've said multiple times, as you can see over the years with these investigations and cases and theories, disclosure stuff with all these things and how it's connected to those businesses and trafficking lines. Right. When people are at heads and they don't want to agree, you like remember people over the years, even just recently, speaking out, saying if they even mention the vaccines, their wives and daughters get fucking pissed. And they're people heavily connected to these nasty fucking marketing groups. Right. Nasty fucking people, dude. They're horrible, nasty pigs. Big time. Yeah, I can say that. Anyways, if you feel like I'm personally talking to you because I'm saying, right, I'm talking about certain marketing groups, right, and there's nasty people within those marketing groups that are doing some bad things, and we know that. It's being exposed every day with all the fraud and abuse and everything. We're concerned about the children being fucked and tortured. I know all of you have other stuff you're doing, and many of you can't see the child abuse or want to accept that some of the feeders, suppliers, right, I mean, if you even whiff at it, there goes your business. You're not going to have a job anymore. You might as well pack it up. You don't want to do that, right? That's suicide. Not too many people do. We can't blame you. Right, so as you can see, when we get to those forks in the road, or crossroads, as they say, and people are at heads, and they can't really agree with a lot of those things with these major issues, we see a lot of scientists and people disappear. Some actually do kill themselves. and die in freak accidents. Some are killed and they make it look like a suicide.
What's that say?
Right, and some, I mean, as you can see, will take themselves out quickly to avoid the torture.
Who is at least 21 years of age. You don't look 21.
Yeah, I mean, when you actually look into it, like the MK Ultra stuff, you know, and you start understanding what's going on, hopefully you wake the fuck up and you start addressing the facts and concerns here in Augusta, Maine,
And you don't. Why not?
and what's been going on. Right, so yeah, we usually do see a lot of murder, suicides, disappearances. They'll leave their phones, right? Because that thing's like a tracker. You know, sometimes people do have like a mental break. Get it all away from me. They think, yeah, I mean, that doesn't really. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but sometimes some people do that, and sometimes people pretend to do that. Right, because when they realize, it's almost like when they realize the people around them are totally fucked and crazy, and they just need to pull themselves away, but they don't want to be mean or offend them. Yeah, they pull themselves out in a lot of different ways. Investigators, scientists, people involved in these cases. We've been doing this since we were kids. We're very aware. It's why we were put on the programs when we were 18. Yeah, the year 2000, David Wilcock and others were heavily involved in those programs and things like that. And when you see what's going on with some of these sickos and the people that fund and dictate and control a lot of those things, and it's just sad how people have to almost talk in tongue. Well, I mean, it's sad for some. Others really appreciate it because they make a lot of money off of all those businesses, as you can see. Like, take David Wilcock, for example, since everyone seems to be talking about that. And it is really sad how a lot of people seem to be exploiting it. Seems like more people are making videos with stupid bullshit than were in his lives. Right, so just think about that. Wake the fuck up. You people are fucking nasty. Right. Yeah, exactly.
50% darker than you should be. All right. Yep, I get it.
You would think we get a dime every time we say right.
Is your license suspended?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay. I can see that your license is suspended because of the way you drive, which is not well, which is why I'm pulling you over. You have any warrants? Because I get a warrant vibe from you.
I might have, like, not a warrant, like, for my arrest or anything, but, like...
Right, and as you can see, some of them do the best they can to not kill themselves. But when their audience base is hugely demented and they can't wake up, and they're very confused, and they believe very childish things, and they give a lot of money for people to carry on.
There's a good chance I'm going to jail right now. That's that look that you just had. I mean, just...
Right, when you listen to some of those things, that's why people are posting, people who care anyways are posting kind of those key talks. Right, the synchronicity key is a good one, huh? They really believe this, and they really believe these things. Saturn. Right, we talked about this earlier, where some people do get all the guru stuff. And the people that know better depend on them, just like any other kind of seance-y, hoax, psychic, massage business, whatever. Right, and see how that doesn't, there's a lot of good psychic and massage businesses that are totally on the up and up and are very beneficial to society. It's just like a farm, an abortion clinic, a hospital, a school, wake the fuck up, a church. It's not that hard when people are so fucking maniacal and cynical. Hair across their fucking ass, man. It gives you a stiff upper lip. It really does. Right, so hopefully the folks here in Augusta, Maine wake the fuck up and do what they're supposed to do to help these kids. Because it's very disturbing what's been going on here over the years.
On the bright side, one of the coolest things about living in Pinal County is that
Wasn't that funny earlier, that dude that was like,
by far, we are the best.
You have to be going at least over 100 or 101, I think, for it to be criminal speeding. And he's arguing with the officer as though he's totally right. And the officer's just listening to him like, okay. Where everyone knows how stupid that is. Criminal speeding, it's if you're, 30 or 35 over. Some places it's 30, others I think it's 35, and then I think it depends on residential, highway. Right, so if you're in a 25 residential area and you're going 65, that's not criminal because it's not over 100. It makes no sense, right? So that's the level of stupidity you're dealing with a lot of people throughout our systems, and they're very anal and nasty. And a lot of innocent children and people have been getting killed while adults play these fucking games and support their nasty habits. So hopefully the proper authorities here in Augusta, Maine do what they're supposed to do to help these children. We're right here. My name's Mary. We're at the Governor Hill Mansion. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, we live in the back. We've been here since 2006 when our home burned down in a fire out in Whitefield with some sickos threw a fireball through the back window. Yeah, I know. They said some rats chewed through the wires. Fine. We can argue that. It doesn't really matter. House burned down. We moved here. It was also right around the time we started seeing the infectious disease specialist in Connecticut, Bernard Raxlin. Yeah, it was pretty close. We had just been diagnosed with Lyme disease, and they had warned us about the vaccines, and they didn't listen. I remember trying to mention it to the nurses, and they pointed their finger in my face and said, "You wait right here." They came back and they injected him in both legs. This was 2006. It was his 18-month shots. Yeah, and I couldn't fucking believe it. I was sitting there like just stone cold face, like what the fuck just happened? I couldn't believe how quickly. Right? I mean, because at that time it was pretty scary, and then he literally within weeks started spinning in circles, was nonstop, ooh, calling my little fire engine. Lost all his speech. He stopped saying, like, he had quite a few words. He'd say outside, mom, dad, the basics, kind of. Right. And every time I'd say, you want to go outside, he'd run, outside, outside. And he'd say shoes. He'd try to help tie him. And then all that just kind of stopped. And it was like a lot of blank staring, spitting in circles, not really responding to what you were saying. Yeah, Jamie, and I'd be saying his name and he wouldn't even look up. He'd be lining things up. And okay. It happened very quickly, and it was like that doctor's words were like a broken record in my head. Be careful with the vaccines, be careful. Right, and then them saying it wasn't just the vaccines. Right, I'm trying to comprehend all this. It's just all starting to make sense with what had happened in the 90s with AIDS and monkeys and gay dudes and cancers and childhood leukemias rising. Right, when you think about it and you start to understand this, you should really wake the fuck up and start to speak out for these kids. We're concerned about the ones being fucked and tortured. People should also be concerned about the ones being pumped up with this shit. Not to mention all the fucking Botox and stuff that the same fucks promote on them. Yeah, wake the fuck up. All right, much love, everybody. We're going to do some reading and make a tea here in a little bit. Alrighty.